Welcome back to Joe's GF. Wow, it's a long 2 weeks. I was quite sick, but fuck winter. I'm sure we're all over it. Toronto Maple Leafs weekly recap. A big, tough loss. They were up 4-2 against Colorado and blew it. But let's recap the week. So they were, I think, 27-0. We're just talking about a coach here, big Avalanche fan. We got Cheech in the building. They were 27-0, holding the lead after the second. And now, in the last 5 days, they blew it and went to a shootout and lost against San Jose. Not a playoff team, not a big deal. But then you don't look good. Wednesday night Vegas, not good at all. And that's a cup contending team, a team that's already won the cup. And then Colorado tonight, a team that already has the hardware a few years ago. A lot of trades, but they took it to us. And Stolarz, both goalies off to a bit of a shaky start, but Stolarz made a lot of saves. They hung them out to dry. So it's Blackwood. Blackwood's the number one. I was Wedgwood, Blackwood. They got the Woodies.
Blackwood's the one.
He didn't make a lot of saves early, but again, JT's 2 goals and Marner's were literally from here to the fucking, like, they were 5 feet away from him and they went top shelf. But at the end of the day, guys, how do I measure it? They have the number one defenseman. They have the better blue line. And when they were turning it on, we didn't have an answer. Scott Laughton had a rough night. It's his first game. That's fine. Brandon Carlo, nice addition. For the Avalanche, Brock Nelson was flying. Lindgren fit in nicely. Charlie Coyle didn't notice him, but Colorado, when you win and you have Joe Sakic, there's going to be a trust factor. And that's why I'm not just a diehard Leaf fan. I know the league. And Colorado's one of my favorite, teams to kind of keep an eye on, along with Vegas. Just real teams, a real number one defenseman. And again, I'm not just knocking Morgan Riley. And I'm not saying, oh, wow, well, we don't have Makar. Well, you're not going to get a Makar, but Brad Treliving didn't blow his brains out this year, but we're also not going to win the Cup. Florida went all in. Marchand, Seth Jones, we know what it is. And Dallas out west, they loaded up. But next year, I think the Leafs have to, I think the last thing they need to address, if Wall and Stolarz can do the job, it's Morgan Riley, who I'm comparing to DeMar DeRozan on the Raptors. Where's the Kawhi Leonard? Which means we need a number one defenseman, whether it's Roman Josi, whether it's an aging number one. If you have to lose the trade and give up extra, that's what the Toronto Maple Leafs need to do, because he was bad when the net was pulled. His offense, it's not there anymore. He's over 30. He's not getting any younger. Got married as a kid. There's a lot going on. But I'm not here saying the Leafs don't win the Cup just because of Riley. But, you got Matthews, and the goaltending's doing pretty well. Your goalie, number one D, number one center, wingers, and all that. Well, we have all of that except for the number one. And, Tanev and McCabe and all the other guys are doing their job. It really does come down to Morgan Riley and maybe Easton Cowan and draft picks, Robertson, McMahon, whatever it takes. You're going to have to pull the trigger next year, or I don't think the Leafs are ever going to win the Stanley Cup. And that's what I'm about. Do I want them to get out of round one? Cool, but I'm past that personally. It's about winning the Stanley Cup or nothing. So this year, I will leave you guys with that. I'm rooting for the Leafs, obviously. But if they don't win the division, if they get Tampa or Florida, they're done. I'm sorry, Leafs Nation, they're done in round one. Tampa Bay would be nice because they got us in 2022. We got them back in 2023. This would be the rivincita, as we call it in Italian. That'd be the, who's going to get the third one. But if Victor Hedman's healthy, Vasilevsky's on his game, Kucherov's a monster, man. They've loaded up again. Hagel, Gensel, who's clutch and proved it for Team USA. So, Tampa Bay's no cakewalk either. But if they can win the division, maybe you get Ottawa or Columbus or, a lesser team. But remember, lesser teams have upset the Leafs. Columbus 2020, Habs 2021, terrible memories. But I got to give it to you guys straight. That's why I really do believe I'm the best at what I do, and it'll get better. But, I can't sugarcoat, the Leafs. There's just something there where it's like these guys are losers and chokers, and it's the big guys. But it's also the whole team. So you guys let me know. What do you see out there? What do the Leafs need to do? But this isn't just about tonight's game, guys. This is the big picture of it. They blow the leads at the wrong time. They hang the goalie out to dry. And then everyone's going to blame Marner or Matthews. That's a losing recipe. It takes a team to win the Stanley Cup. It takes good coaching, good penalty kill, good PP, GM, everything. So I give Treliving, he did well this year, but he still hasn't done the big Joe Sakic stuff, which, let's talk about it now. The big trade, Mikko Rantanen. That's what it takes. You want to have the stones to be a GM and win the Stanley Cup. You don't have to be a Joe Sakic. You can be a nobody that nobody knows. You have to make all-in moves. And if they go wrong, you're going to get fired. But you have to be a man. You're going to stand on that. You can't keep kicking the can down the road because you're not going to win the cup. The Leafs are in a window, which I think starts next year. But it might only be 2 or 3 years open. So next year, push the chips all in like Dallas did to get Rantanen. I don't know what Carolina was thinking, but maybe didn't want to live there. So, I mean, their top line now, we're about to watch the doubleheader, Edmonton-Dallas, is going to be Rope Hintz with Jason Robertson and Mikko Rantanen. That's crazy. Their second and third line is loaded. They get Heiskanen back, Ottinger, net. They're the favorites out west, but that's only on paper. I still like Colorado in the wild card spot. I still like Vegas. And why do I like these teams? Because they have Hall of Fame #1 defensemen, properly slotted blue lines, and just properly built teams. The Leafs, kind of like the Oilers, incomplete. And what's the difference between the Leafs and the Oilers? The Oilers are incomplete with 2 phenoms that almost got it done, one goal away in a Game 7. Our big guys don't do that in the playoffs. So till that changes, guys, I'm sorry. I still think we're tier 2, but you know what? We're underdogs this year. We'll take our cuts. Go Leafs, go.